Why bother? I'm just going to fail. You know, Mike Tyson was one of the greatest modern philosophers of all time. Most famously known for, and I paraphrase, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Perception definitely becomes a reality in this case. If you've convinced yourself that you're not going to be able to do something, that's exactly what's going to happen. No situation or scenario or circumstance is going to be powerful enough to completely overthrow your capacity to make control of your choices and what you put in your body. But what can overthrow your choices and your capacity to control what goes in your body is whether or not you believe you can do it. And if you think you've run out of grit, if you think you've run out of willpower and that your tank is empty, well, probably right. Probably what's going to happen. You'll be damn close. Things that used to seem easy are now tiresome. And things that are difficult now seem completely unreasonable. And unreasonable things are now impossible. So while your head is on straight, it's a great opportunity for you to look at this objectively. If you feel like something is impossible, take a step back. Is it really impossible? Or is it a conversation you're having with yourself that is completely tripping you up, sabotaging everything? Have you ever completed any other difficult thing in your life? I'm willing to bet you have. In fact, you should list out all the other difficult things you've done in your life, and you'll probably be surprised at what you've been able to do, and really how changing your eating and exercise habits will pale in comparison to other difficult things you've gone through. And you survived those just fine. Knowing that you've been through other difficult times in your life and persevered, why is this any more difficult than that? You have won before, you continue to win. After all, are you going to be mad at yourself for sticking to your plan and making progress? Or are you going to get mad at yourself for not sticking to your plan and regressing? And will that lead to further regression because of the cycle of crap? You act like a goof because you're unhappy, and then you're unhappy because you act like a goof. Just because something is difficult now doesn't mean it's difficult later. And just because something is difficult doesn't mean it's totally impossible. You've done difficult stuff before, you can do it again. It's not always going to be unicorns and rainbows and glitter. That would be unreasonable. I hate glitter. What you eat and how you act are not decisions that are made for you. They are not subconscious. The thoughts are subconscious. And the feelings you don't have control over. But what you do have control over are the actions you take. You may have an action that is not congruent with your feelings, but that's what this is all about. Having a battle plan devised when your head is on straight will give you a lot of power during these situations that may otherwise feel like they're impossible, especially if you have to pull a plan right out of your butt while you're stressed out in the thick. If you are having conversations with yourself that are totally extreme, shoulds, shouldn'ts, never, impossible, none, empty, all you're really doing is justifying the decision to go off plan. If you tell yourself something is impossible, it becomes impossible, and then it makes any other decision a justifiable one. After all, if you're in a situation that's not impossible to navigate, then there's little excuse to navigate it appropriately. So keep that in mind. Use it to your advantage. You don't have to give away all your power by saying something is impossible when it's not. It only ends up hurting you. Make that list of all the difficult stuff you've done in your life and all the other situations that you've persevered through and succeeded. I guarantee there's going to be situations that are way more difficult, requiring more skill, take more time and more patience and more fortitude than making the decision of what or what not to put in your mouth. You've been through way tougher situations in your life. And if you can succeed in those situations, then you can definitely succeed in this one. If you tell yourself it's impossible, it will be. If you tell yourself it's possible, it is. Keep this in mind. You've done other cool stuff. You can do cool stuff again. You can do it. Lay it out. When it's laid out objectively, the path shows itself.